Word of God is the gateway to the world of wealth.
The man whose last name literally means money in the United States often suggests to his 30,000 parishioners the more they give, the more God will deliver financial blessings to them. Creflo Dollar's appeal for a private jet may take the cake.
We are believing for 200,000 people to give contributions of $300 US or more.
Doing the math, that's $60 million. The head of the World Changers megachurch in Atlanta asked for the donations in this almost 6-minute video, dubbed Project G650, as in Gulfstream 650. Dollar's already a high flyer.
We're about to land in Nairobi, Kenya.
But it seems his current jet, built in 1984, is showing its age. Engine trouble on a flight to Australia, and more recently, when his wife and daughters were taking off from London, it went off the runway.
It's not like a car where you can pull over on the side when something goes wrong. And I knew it was time to begin to believe God for a new airplane.
This is a satellite view of Dollar's Georgia home, worth more than $2.3 million. These New York records show Dollar and his wife sold their Manhattan condo for $3.75 million. And that's not all.
Bentleys, Rolls Royces, corporate jets, $23,000 commodes.
In 2007, the lavish spending even caught the attention of the U.S. Senate.
Just think of a $23,000 marble commode. A lot of money going down the toilet.
The Senate Finance Committee launched an investigation into the financial practices of Dollar and 5 other televangelists, saying it was so taxpayers, quote, should be assured that their donations are being used for the tax-exempt purposes of the organizations, unquote. All of the televangelists objected. To find out more of how Dollar wants to spend his dollars, I called Daniel Jennings. He's a big seller of private jets.
This isn't kind of an entry-level jet. It's not even a mid-level jet.
This is the top of the game jet.
The Gulfstream 650 is the largest, longest distance, second fastest private jet in the world. And to get one, Dollar may need more than money. He might need divine intervention. The wait for a new one is 4 years. And there are only 4 used ones for sale in the entire world.
If I wanted to buy a gently used one, what do you think that did send me back?
Low 70s, 71, 72 million.
Now to the flood fears this evening in the Midwest. And the sweeping cold moving in for millions again. We're not done with winter yet. A state of emergency tonight in New Richmond, Ohio. Neighborhoods right there underwater all weekend long. We learned today of banks resorting to use Ziploc bags to protect the cash. Take a look at this. Powerful winds to the west tearing down scaffolding. That's in Portland, Oregon. And this evening, temperatures about to plunge.
California's historic drought led to new restrictions today on water use. State regulators voted to outlaw watering lawns more than twice a week and within 48 hours of a rainstorm. Restaurants can serve water only if customers request it. 93% of California is facing severe drought. In 67% of the state, it's extreme.
Take a look at this vine posted by NASA astronaut Terry Virts. It's apparently his view from the International Space Station of an aurora stretching across the North Pole. Green auroras are being seen in skies around the world thanks to that massive solar storm we told you about Tuesday night.
Yes, we had one of the more severe, potentially disruptive geomagnetic storms that we've seen in about a 10-year period as a pair of solar flares ejected from the sun on Sunday morning arrived at the Earth's magnetic field, or its magnetosphere, on Tuesday morning. And the way they interact with the Earth's magnetic field is what it essentially leads to seeing these colorations of yellows, greens, and also reds, and they get deflected out towards the polar regions. This particular event being so strong, we had the ability to see that across some of the lower latitudes of the world, at least a little farther south than what you typically would see. But
a powerful solar storm hit Earth today, and aside from the amazing images, it could potentially affect power grids and GPS tracking systems. Federal forecasters say it could also push the colorful northern lights farther south. It did put on quite a show from Alaska to British Columbia to the Northwest Territories, even as far south as the Dakotas and suburban Milwaukee.
As we told you earlier, the sun just moved over the equator, which signifies the start of spring. But today, Northern Europe was dazzled by a trick of the moon.
Now, people all over Northern Europe have been trying to catch a glimpse of Friday's solar eclipse from the ground, but one airline got spectators even closer. Now, Russian airline Nordavia arranged a special flight for those who wanted the best seats for the celestial event. Eclipse watchers paid $160 for the flight and got some spectacular views in return. In 4 hours, they were able to witness all the phases of the eclipse, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And here is what they saw. The sun disappears from view almost completely. You can see it disappear there before it eventually reappeared again, delighting the passengers. Some of them were quite emotional after the experience.
New this morning, 7 people have been shot outside a store in Stockton, California overnight. 2 women and 1 man died. Now, some of the victims ran inside the market. So far, nobody is in custody.
Several officers are hurt and a suspect is dead after a brawl outside of an Arizona Walmart. It all began when a Walmart employee noticed that a large group of people went into the restroom together. By the time police arrived, the group was in the parking lot. Officers were attacked and there was a struggle for an officer's gun. 1 suspect was killed, a 2nd suspect was shot in the stomach.
The FBI this morning is investigating the death of a black man in Mississippi who was found dead hanging from a tree.
And moving on to a truly shocking case of road rage in Houston. The manhunt is on this morning, trying to find the angry driver who shot a woman in the head.
This morning, the alleged gunman behind a shooting spree in Arizona is in custody. Investigators say that 41-year-old Ryan Elliott Giroux's rampage stretched across multiple crime scenes in Mesa. 1 person died, 5 were wounded.
We're going to start here with the breaking news overnight, a bizarre and really violent attack at the airport in New Orleans.
Chaos as a man stormed a TSA checkpoint wielding a machete and wasp spray, that toxic aerosol designed to kill bugs. You can see the suspect in this picture right there on the ground with his machete right next to him. 7 people were injured.
We begin with breaking news from overnight. Terrifying moments at New Orleans International Airport. A man waving a machete and spraying insecticide attacked passengers and TSA agents at an airport checkpoint.
In the eastern Ukrainian town of Konstantinovka, angry crowds have reportedly set fire to parts of Kiev's army barracks. It comes after a military armored vehicle ran over and killed an 8-year-old girl as she was walking down the street with her aunt.
We're following a developing story out of southwestern Sweden. Police there say several people have been shot inside a restaurant in the city of Göteborg. They say some have died. Police released a statement saying an automatic weapon is believed to have been used. They did not release any details about the suspects, but said an investigation is underway.
The White House this morning pledges close cooperation with Tunisia after the tourist massacre at a museum. ISIS is claiming responsibility for this terror attack that killed more than 20 people.
A new threat from ISIS, the brutal terror group allegedly posting a hit list online targeting American troops, revealing the personal information of 100 service members and urging sympathizers to kill them. The military is notifying everyone on that list.
Start here with the new ISIS-related threats. Overnight, American military commanders issuing a warning after a group claiming to represent ISIS posted an online hit list calling for attacks on U.S. personnel here at home.
Pretty disturbing. They revealed their photos, names, and addresses. This as the U.S. decides to pull troops out of Yemen after ISIS claimed responsibility for a suicide attack there, and the security situation rapidly deteriorating.
You're about to meet suburban swingers with some very provocative ideas about how to make marriage work. You could call their lifestyle the neighborhood's worst kept secret because many of their neighbors are actually in on it. It's openly living in an open marriage. And is it the key to long-term coupling?
We are swingers, but don't worry, we won't attack you unless you're into that.
Tony and Diana have an open marriage, meaning they're not monogamous, and one they're unapologetically open about. They're part of a growing community of people just like them, who are not afraid to share it with the world.
Some say there are now an estimated 15 million swingers across the country.
To the eye, it looks like a typical, normal American neighborhood.
We visited their home in the rolling suburbs of Cincinnati, Ohio, one of the most conservative parts of the country. Politically, a swing state, now a state that may come to be known for its swingers.
We might have a different marriage than your typical marriage, but it's okay to be different as long as you're happy, you're a good person, and you don't hurt anybody.